I'd like to invite our incense lighters to please come forward. The incense gatha is inside of your chant books. In gratitude, we offer this incense throughout space and time to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting careful efforts, wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. Good morning. Great to see so many people here today. This is a special service today. We'll be welcoming 3 new Bodhisattva students in the ordination. Just wanted to do some courtesy announcements, and also I'm going to go ahead and do the August announcements right now. We won't be doing them later. So to start off, we do have bathrooms through that curtain on the left. If you need to use the restroom or get up to stretch during the service, please walk around the back there. You can also go downstairs. There's water and more bathrooms down there if you need to take a break. We invite you to join us in our chants. If you haven't been here before, you have a chant book there, and it has all the chants that we'll be saying. When you're chanting, we encourage you to chant loud enough so you can hear yourself, but not so loud that you drown out your neighbors, so that you can mindfully join in. So our August announcements, we have a lot going on at the temple in August and September. We have an online meditation group on Wednesdays from 6:45 p.m. You can join via Zoom. If you're in our newsletter, there's a link there, also a link on our website, and you can also email myself if you're interested. We have an Avantamsaka Sutra study group, Thursdays, August 8th and 22nd of August, 7 to 9 p.m., and that's here at the temple. Contact Will Arlington or Reverend Joyce Sue for that. Introduction to Meditation from the Tibetan Perspective is on Saturday, August 10th from 9 to 12. Meets at the temple. Registration ends on Friday, August 9th. That class, or an Introduction to Meditation class, is a requirement for the preceptor class. We also have a Fundamentals of Buddhism class coming up on Saturday, August 17th from 9 to 12 p.m. That meets at the temple as well. Reverend Sonshin will be providing that. Reverend Igyasu, who's not currently up here right now, is doing the Introduction to Meditation. We have the 5 Buddhist Preceptors Training Program. That starts on September 8th is the first class. And that class meets every Sunday at the temple. The preceptor class is the first step to taking the Bodhisattva class. So you take the Introduction to Meditation class, you take the preceptor class, which is a class that runs until December. And then if you've completed that, then you're qualified to take the Bodhisattva class, which we're celebrating the ordination of today. So I encourage you to look at the newsletter and look in the website for more information on that. It's a very involved class. You meet every Sunday, come early, help set up the temple. We have like a little mini class right before service. And then every other week, we actually have a meeting after service. There's a book that we're all reading together. You're creating a journal that you're submitting each week about your spiritual practice. So it's very involved and very in-depth. It's a great way to, deepen your practice or inspire your practice if you're thinking about how you can do more than just come to temple. And also, we do have the Grand Rapids Buddhist Temple Board meeting, August 18th. Sangha members are invited to come and observe. You do have to have completed the precept class in order to be a board member here. And the board member really, helps us keep this place running. Make sure the lights stay turned on, the rent gets paid, the repairs are up to date, all those kind of mundane day-to-day things, to keep the temple functioning. The board is there, donating their time. The last thing I wanted to announce is Buddhist-based recovery meetings. Monday at 6:30 is meditation, 7 p.m. meeting, and that's at the temple. Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. at the Alano Club on College Avenue. And then Fridays, 10:05 a.m. meditation, 10:30 meeting, and that's at Garfield Park. And also you can join that via Zoom. So if you want more information about any of those upcoming events, just look at the newsletter. If you haven't signed up for that, I think you can sign up at the front there. You can also sign up online. So at this point, I'd like to invite everyone to stand up and greet each other with bows silently. we will be chanting the three refuges, which is inside of your temple. So please remain standing for that. I believe it's on page 7.
I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the three jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to live simply and sanely. I'm aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts.
Next, we'll chant the Heart Sutra on page 8, beginning with the title of the sutra.
Bodhisattva of great compassion, from the deep practice of prajna, paramita, received the emptiness of all 5 skandhas, and delivered all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, somebody, mind. No form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind. No realm of sight. No realm of consciousness, no ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance, no latent death, no extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but prajna, paramita. Therefore, the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance, there is no fear. Away from all perverted views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future, through faith in prajna, paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the prajna, paramita is the great Dharani, the radiant, fearless mantram, the utmost supreme mantram, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the prajna, paramita. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhisvaha. Dhamma, prajna, paramita, riyaya, sutra.
Please remain standing.
And may we all chant together the homage to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Fragrance of Sila, fragrance of Samadhi, fragrance of Prajna, fragrance of emancipation, fragrance of emancipation knowledge, where the light of wisdom and the clouds of great compassion spread in the Dharma realm. May I pay homage to all the Buddhas, the Dharmas, and all the sanghas of the 10 directions. Om Parato Biyahom. Om Parato Biyahom. Om Parato Biyahom. With my utmost heart, I make devotions to our great teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, guide of the 3 realms and compassionate father of the 4 realms of life. With my utmost heart, I make devotions to the eternal existent assembly of all the Buddhas of the past, of the present, and of the future, throughout the 10 directions, as countless as the lands and seas in Indra's jeweled net. With my utmost heart, I make devotions to all the dharmas, eternally existent, of the past, of the present, and of the future, throughout the 10 directions, as countless as the lands and seas, just jeweled net. With my utmost heart, I make devotions to Manjushri, the Bodhisattva of great wisdom, Samantabhadra, the Bodhisattva of great deeds, Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of great compassion, Yugarbha, the Bodhisattva of great vows, and all great Bodhisattvas. With my utmost heart, I make devotions to the 10 great disciples of the Buddha, the 16 Arhats, the 500 Arhats, the solitary Buddhas, and the 1,250 bhikkhus, and numberless holy ones who received instructions from Lord Buddha on the Vulture Peak. With my utmost heart, I make devotions to the great masters, the venerable teachers recognized throughout the ages, and innumerable spiritual teachers and friends who have transmitted the lamp of Dharma from India to China to Japan, Korea, Tibet to America, throughout many lands to us. With my utmost heart, I make devotions to all the sanghas, eternally existent, of the past, of the present, and of the future, throughout the 10 directions, as countless as the lands and seas in Indra's jeweled net. May the inexhaustible 3 jewels accept my devotions with a great compassionate heart. May the divine power of the inexhaustible 3 jewels help us fulfill our wish that all beings in the Dharma realm attain their Buddhahood together and once at the same time.
And you may be seated.
Good morning. My name is Kunga Nyima. I'm one of the Dharma teachers here. I'm actually a teaching monk now at the temple. Thank you. Can you hear me okay now? Okay. And I'm very pleased, happy to introduce the Bodhisattva Ordination today. The Bodhisattva students started their training as preceptors. That's the class I was talking about earlier that starts in September and then graduates in December. meeting every week, devoting themselves to coming to every Sunday service to participate, setting the temple up, learning how to deepen their practice, and participate in discussions afterwards. After that class ends, the Bodhisattva class picks up in January. A couple of these students actually started the September class and went straight through. So that is, like almost a year of study to take the preceptor class and then take the Bodhisattva class right after. It's quite a commitment to take that class. You really have to dedicate yourself to your practice. You're making a commitment to do spiritual journaling, have a meditation practice, do prostrations every day from January till now. Some of the students have accumulated, over 500 prostrations in that time. You're setting aside a time every day to practice your meditation. We're reading a book together, The Way of the Bodhisattva, translated by Pema Chodron. We're meeting every month to discuss that. Basically, every month having like a mini retreat from 8 to 12 to kind of discuss practice and then practice together. So it's really something for someone to dedicate themselves to that and to put all that effort into that. I really appreciate the three of you. You've done a really wonderful job. Thank you. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the ceremony that you're going to be participating in today. So the first part, where we do the 3 refuges and the Heart Sutras, that's what we do every Sunday. If you're new, that's part of our normal service. But what we're starting with now, the ordination ceremony, is a little bit special. The 37 practices of the Bodhisattva that we chanted at 9:30 is especially, important to the Bodhisattva students, outlining many of the different disciplines and practices they're trying to incorporate into their everyday life. The homage to the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas is one of the chants that the Bodhisattva students learn during their practice with us. And it has to do with just acknowledging the gratitude and the support that we are giving in our everyday life from, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the past and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that exist here and now. We can think of, and this is what we learned in the class, is that every single person, every event in our life is an opportunity to engage with a Buddha or a Bodhisattva. So in that chant, we're kind of acknowledging that, we're saying eternally existent in all directions, in all the 10 directions, north, south, east, and west, southwest, northwest, all the directions in between, up and down. Everyone should have a piece of paper that tells you the order of the service. Is there anyone who doesn't have that? Okay. So we'll be following along with this, and it'll tell you, and we'll remind you as well, when we're chanting together, when we're standing, when we're sitting, that kind of thing. When we get to the section for the 10 Bodhisattva vows, there may be people who have already taken those vows by attending the Bodhisattva classes in the past, and this is really an excellent opportunity for you to kind of renew those vows, And if you haven't taken those vows yet, in this moment, you are taking them. Even though you haven't done the class, every moment is an opportunity to wake up. So just saying these vows with us at this time is an opportunity for you to wake up in that moment. I'm going to read the statement here. The Bodhisattva is nothing other than an ordinary person of great aspiration, engaged in the continuous cultivation of compassion, joy, friendship, and universal kindness, rooted in the vow to bring all beings to enlightenment together. The 6 paramitas of generosity, moral conduct, patience, great effort, concentration, and wise reflection are the Bodhisattva's tools to manifest great energy and deep humility to transform all obstacles into Dharma gates, so that markets, workplaces, and homes become fields for myriad good deeds. Remember, helping yourself is helping others, and helping others is helping yourself. Understand your life through Buddhist teachings with honesty, simplicity, and clarity. Root it deeply with direct cultivation and embodied realization. to bring the mind and heart into a single unity with this great life. If you fail in your resolve, if you become overwhelmed by the lifetime of cultivation, just return. Return to the clear discernment of your precept practice. Return to the boundless mind of your meditation practice. Return to the humble stability of prostrations. Return to the purity of your chanting practice. Return to the wisdom that you are the Buddha Dharma, and that your own body-mind is the truth and the way. If you walk away from the path, you walk right onto the path, which is always right before your feet and before your eyes. Watch under your step. This time, I would like to invite the three candidates to please stand up, and they are going to provide appreciation bows, prostrations to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. And this is a prostration practice is a way that we show our humility. You know, we show our connection to the earth by actually going down and bowing down to the earth, you know, basically acknowledging our interconnectedness with all of life. We are now going to all be entering the Bodhisattva way and accepting of the Bodhisattva vows. Please stand and we will chant the Gatha of Atonement together.
For all unskillful actions ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, I now atone for them all.
We will now chant the 10 Bodhisattva vows together.
Do not harm, but cherish all life. If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of compassion. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. Do not take what is not given, but respect the things of others. If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of virtue. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. Do not engage in sexual misconduct, but practice purity of mind and self-restraint. If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of purity. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. Do not lie, but speak the truth. If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of truth. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. Do not involve yourself in the trade of liquors and drugs which confuse or weaken the mind, but keep your mind calm and clear. If you violate this precept,
you will destroy
your seed of wisdom. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. Do not speak of the misdeeds of others, but try to understand them with sympathy. If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of friendship. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. Do not praise yourself nor condemn others. If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seeds of respect. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. Do not withhold your aid, material or spiritual, but give freely of yours whenever there is need. If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of wealth and generosity. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. Do not hold on to anger, but be forgiving. If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of happiness. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. Do not despair, Satrinatana,
Buddha,
Dharma, and Sangha, but uphold them. If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of faith. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path.
I'm going to invite the Sangha, except for the ordination participants, to please sit.
This might be the part where those who've taken vows before.
Okay. So if you've taken vows before, I invite you, when I ask the Bodhisattva student to accept these commitments, to please accept them with them by saying that you do each time. Okay. I will ask them 3 times. Do you, Bodhisattva candidates, accept these commitments to follow the Bodhisattva path?
I do.
Do you, Bodhisattva candidates, accept these commitments to follow the Bodhisattva path?
I do.
Do you, Bodhisattva candidates, accept these commitments to follow the Bodhisattva path?
I do.
Please sit. So this next part of the service is called marking the Bodhisattvas. And what we're going to do is each of the Bodhisattvas will stand up, and we're going to place a paramita thread around their wrist and knot it. And there are 6 knots on the thread representing each of the paramitas. If you look back on your sheet here, or actually, I think we're gonna chant the chant right after, so you can see them: generosity, ethics, patience, strenuous energy, and meditation are the 6 paramitas. So as the, go ahead and invite the Bodhisattva candidates, please stand. And Jingsu, why don't you stand here? Why don't we have the 3 of you come to the center? That way this will all be, people who are joining us online can also see what's going on. Okay. And before the students receive their threads, I invite the students to provide their roses for the teachings. So we will chant slowly the 6 paramita chant together as they are wrapping the threads and tying them. Dana paramita.
May I be generous and helpful. Sila paramita. May I be pure and virtuous. Kasanti paramita. May I be patient. May I be able to bear and forbear the wrongs of others. Vira paramita. May I be strenuous, energetic, and persevering. Dhyana paramita. May I practice meditation and attain concentration and oneness to serve all beings. Prajna paramita. May I gain wisdom and be able to give the benefit of my wisdom to others.
Right. I invite the candidates to please remain standing. Next, we will be providing the candidates with their Bodhisattva certificates and also with the white stoles. Can you please do the stole, Shangasu? So each of the Bodhisattva students, when they took the preceptor class, they received the Dharma name, which is a Sanskrit name given to them based on their interests, their challenges, their passions, that are kind of revealed during their practice. The first certificate of ordination for Bodhisattva is for Atanato Susan Davis. Did I say that again? Atanonato Susan Davis. Bestowed on the date August 4th, 2024, year of the Buddha, 2567, upon acceptance of the Bodhisattva precepts and commitment to following the 6 paramitas for the benefit of all beings. The next certificate of ordination of Bodhisattva, Kshanti Bhava Karuna, Angel Hayden. Bestowed on the date August 4th, 2024, the year of the Buddha, 2567, upon acceptance of the 10 Bodhisattva precepts and commitment to following the 6 paramitas for the benefit of all beings. Certificate of Ordination of Bodhisattva, Devasetya Karuna Alex DeMarco. Bestowed on the date August 4th, 2024, year of the Buddha, 2567, upon acceptance of the 10 Bodhisattva precepts and commitment to following the 6 paramitas for the benefit of all beings. Right, at this time, I want to invite the 3 Bodhisattvas to do 3 sets of, 3 prostrations. They'll be doing 2 prostrations towards the dais for the Buddha and the Dharma, and then 1 prostration will be doing towards you, the Sangha, because all 3 of us are integral to their practice. They couldn't have done the practice, accomplished the practice without the support of the Buddha, the teachings, and the community of supporters. So thank you so much. I invite our 3 candidates to take a seat again. So I wanted to tell you, so the white stoles that we put around them is like a blessing, a blessing from us, the temple, to them to ongoing support in their practice, they're invited to place this on their altar at home or someplace that's meaningful for them to kind of inspire them as time goes on. So this next section is the part that all the Bodhisattva students are looking forward to. It's an opportunity for them to provide a little bit of background to you, about what their experience was like in the Bodhisattva program, what they thought about it, what it was like to be in it, and, what they would recommend, how they would recommend it to others. So I didn't select, I just allow one of you to select yourselves who would like to go first. Introduce yourself.
Good morning, Sangha. My Dharma name is Atano Nato. My street name is Susan Davis. I wasn't quite sure what to expect when I started the Bodhisattva class. I knew it was going to be a big time commitment, but I didn't realize how much it would deepen my practice and deepen bodhicitta inside of me. And I probably will cry, so it was, and thank you, Kunga, as well, and to all the Dharma teachers. But it was a great experience. Definitely helped me deepen my practice and learn more. And I'll be continuing on in my studies with various texts and whatnot to further that. So thank you.
Everyone, I am Dive Satya, or Alex. I first just want to say another thank you to all of our teachers for their leadership, and to Atano Nato and to Kashanti Baba for their companionship and throughout this class. It's been wonderful to go through this with all of you. Yeah, this was a really, really meaningful class. In a nutshell, it was just a wonderful time to be able to focus very deliberately on growing in wisdom and compassion, on finding ways to bring bodhicitta, the awakened mind, heart, to my life more and more. And so I'd highly recommend it if that's the kind of thing that you're interested in, if that sounds appealing. If you need to start with the preceptor class, that's a wonderful thing as well. One of the things we've done practically during this class is memorize texts. And one of the texts that was my memorization text recently is these set of 3 stanzas from Shantideva's Way of the Bodhisattva. And to me, these 3 stanzas really beautifully and concisely express the Bodhisattva spirit. So I just wanted to share them with you. So Shantideva says, "All the harm with which this world is rife, all the fear and suffering that there is, clinging to the eye has caused it. What am I to do with this great demon? If this eye is not relinquished wholly, sorrow likewise cannot be avoided. If they do not stay away from fire, people can't escape from being burned. To free myself from harm and others from their sufferings, let me give myself to others, loving them as I now love myself."
I'm in the right place. That was really beautiful. Thank you. It's hard. I talk a lot, so it's hard for me to want to be concise about what this training has meant to me. So I think I just want to share what I shared in our training yesterday, which is just, if this is your first time, you've heard a lot already today about taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And those three things are what I've really felt like I've been able to cultivate a sense of feeling safe within myself by taking refuge in those things. There's been, this has been a really interesting couple of years for me. And so this training has come at a really important time where I've needed to find those spaces where I feel safe within myself, because sometimes all these stories in our minds, all these internal things don't even feel safe. let alone the world that we live in. And I feel like it's taken this whole year really of training to cultivate that sense of finding safety in those things and knowing I can turn to the Sangha, to the Buddha, and to the Dharma when I feel overwhelmed. It's like a piece of respite. And I'm so grateful for all of you and for all of the teachers, especially. This practice has really helped me to also understand what my most important practices are for me, like who I am and what practices are most important to helping me show up in love and compassion. And one of those has been self-compassion. And every time I've shown up at this temple and in this training, especially, I've just expected to be like, there's this little bit of like, I didn't do enough. I've never done enough. And I come here and I show up and I'm enough because everyone here sees me as a future Buddha. And it helps me to be able to do the same for all of you. So thank you so much. It's been an honor.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to add a little something to the service here. So we usually do joys and concerns every service, so I did want to not leave that out. So this is an opportunity for all of us to share in the four immeasurables: loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. You know, we can think of loving kindness as the wish for others to have happiness, compassion as the wish that others are relieved from their suffering. Sympathetic joy is our ability to share in the happiness of others as they're having it. And equanimity is that ability to just kind of be in life, to ride the waves of happiness and sadness without being, drowned by those emotions. You just kind of have a feeling of equanimity. Not that you can't experience those emotions, but you can still maintain your sense of who you are, even despite them. So at this time, if you have a joy or concern you would like to share with the Sangha, so we can participate in sympathetic joy, or we can wish you compassion, raise your hand.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Jake. I think my second time here. And I was just really moved by the service today. And I had come off about 2.5 years of recovering from a head injury, spending a lot of time at home, very inward. And around April, I found a community kitchen in Holland that cooks and prepares food fresh for anybody in the community that wants to eat. And I think one of the best parts of that kind of mindfulness journey has been figuring out how to be a part of just this greater body and working outside of myself, especially coming off of a time when I was so inward. I'm just very, very thankful for that opportunity, because it really came out of nowhere. And hearing everybody speak about just community and in the importance of compassion and caring for one another just really reinvigorated me. And I just wanted to just thank everybody for being here. And I feel that compassion and love here in this body of folks here. So thank you.
I'm Nikki. Congratulations, guys. I'm excited for you. Thank you for everything you do. And thank you, guys. I have my sweetie here with me, brought him with today, and I'm happy that he's here. We just celebrated 6 years together yesterday, and just celebrating a week of rest and taking off from work, and celebrating friendship and family during that time, and just very grateful. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Josie. So one thing that I'm struggling with, so I'm pretty new to my practice, and one thing that I'm struggling with is a couple contradictions that I see in, at least in certain teachings, and that has to do with alleviating suffering in the world and seeing the suffering of people, but then also seeing phrases like "do not speak of the misdeeds of others." So specifically talking about Palestine and how do we as a Buddhist Sangha try to alleviate the suffering of others when we're trying to alleviate the suffering in ourself and internally, but also externally. And that's this is part of the path that I'm on, is trying to understand those contradictions. And if there's anyone here that could help me with that question, I'd love to hear it. So thanks.
Hi, my name is Ellen. I'm doing another Ben update. Ben Rudy is one of our Sangha members, and he is struggling. He's still in the hospital. If you don't know anything about transplants, bone marrow transplants, and so on, he's really deep into the host versus graft problem right now. It's very chronic, very tough. So please keep him in your thoughts.
Good morning, everyone. I am Igye Sue. My joy today is celebrating in these three who are taking the Bodhisattva vows, but also those who have taken Bodhisattva vows previously and have had the opportunity to renew those vows today. As Bodhisattvas, while the suffering of the world is something that we strive to care for, I think it's important to remember that we too are one of those beings that we need to care for. And as I reminded the Bodhisattvas before the ordination today, to not forget that you are one of the beings that needs to be cared for as well. And it's a let's get there together kind of thing. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Gaius. I have been experiencing a great amount of transition in my life, in my living situation, and just the whole entire thing. And up until about a week ago, it was extremely stressful and seemingly hopeless. And I have come to a place of great peace around everything. And so that is my joy.
Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to find this place. I'm here just maybe a few times. I just wanted to say my joy today is my son is coming after 8 years. He refused to, but he's coming to visit me from Poland next week, so I'm very happy. And on the other side, I have a concern and kind of struggle how to live in this world where we are just watching a genocide and we are so hopeless, and it's impossible to help. So this is, that's my concern. And the other one I have is all animals that have to die for this world to continue. So that's everything.
Hi, my name's Sunshine. I kind of want to address, both of you brought up the genocide in Palestine, and I just want to understand the as you stated, a contradiction that you had about trying to alleviate all the suffering of the world, but also not pointing out the errors of others. Is that correct? And I think, and I don't want to misunderstand where you're coming from, but the block is, when you see other people causing so much suffering in the world, how can you stand by and just not point that out? I think the way that I like to think of that is that we can't put that suffering on an individual person. I think it's something that we've all have to collectively share together. I think to blame it on one person's actions or to try to create a scapegoat doesn't really alleviate the problem. It just sort of puts it off. It also allows us to say, well, it's not me, it's them. So I'm sort of clean of this. And I think that in there is the true illusion. As far as what do we do? Well, it's so big that it's part of all of us, that suffering, even though that we're blessed to not be in the middle of, the bombing and the killing. That suffering is so connected that it's obviously reaching all of us to some point. We're sitting here and feeling the weight of that. So the first thing that I would say is tend to that suffering, that part of that karmic impact that has reached you, because that shows how connected the world is, and to tend to that part is an important thing. And then tend to the suffering around you into that sphere. And I think to always speak out that suffering is more systematic and more sort of inclusive and interdependent. Fight against trying to put that on any one person, because everybody in this room is capable of committing atrocities, but also everybody in this room is capable of alleviating those too. So I think a lot of this is knowing what we're capable of and doing the work that, I like to think of a sponge in the sea. Actually, sponges and like SpongeBob SquarePants is one of the first forms of multicellular life that evolved on our planet. And also they're still around today. So they've done something right. And basically all they do all day is they take in the dirty water and they breathe it out clean. They filter. And sometimes I like to think, if I can't do anything else, I'm going to be a sponge. I'm going to try to take all of the suffering that's met my way from thousands of miles away. It's reached me. And I'm going to do my best to purify my air around me, take in that suffering, and try to alleviate it. And so it seems like we can't do a lot, but you can do a lot with the suffering that's come to you. So I guess if anything, I would say, and in all these joys and concerns, it's take that with that responsibility that this is my bit of dirty seawater, and I'm going to do my best to purify that and bring it out. And that's enough. So thank you.
All right,
So
I
we do
wanted
have
to share one more joys of concern. I'm happy to be here today. Wonderful that we have this opportunity in Grand Rapids. I live in St. Joe, Michigan, so it's about an hour and a half away. I'm just thankful that I don't have to drive to Chicago to enjoy this community. It's so wonderful that we have this space here and that you're all here, celebrating the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha with us. I guess I would add on to Sanshin's. So, just like we are receiving, the fact that we can receive all the suffering means that also we can also put out the relief for that suffering. So just like everything he said that applies to suffering also applies to the relief of suffering. So, if it can get to you, the suffering, the relief you can provide can get there as well to where it's needed. And all you really have to do is start with yourself. Bringing relief to suffering yourself is bringing the relief to the suffering of all beings, because we're all interconnected. So that seems like, a crazy thought, right? But somehow that's what's happened. Somehow we're all interconnected on this planet. So, are we done with the joys and concerns? Do we have anything online?
Yes, we got one online from Young Soo. And he wanted to say, congratulations, Bodhisattvas, and to please send metta to his hips because it's the reason he's not here today.
All right. I want to invite everyone to stand up and we'll chant the dedication of merit together. Don't forget, we do have a potluck. Celebrate the Bodhisattvas downstairs after service. And if you once you're done with this final chant, just please center your cushion nicely. Make sure your cushion looks nice like when you arrive, and give the all the paperwork. Put the chants back into the chant book, and they'll be coming around to take them from you.
May this merit extend universally to all, so that we together with all beings realize the Buddha way. All Buddhas, 10 directions, 3 worlds, all honored ones, Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Maha Prajna Paramita.
Invite the right side to face the center. Without each other. Thank you so much for coming. Please join us downstairs for the potluck. Bodhisattva graduates, please stay up here and we'll take pictures. Anybody wants to get the picture with the Bodhisattva graduates? Please join us.